So this goes back to the question about work. What kind of work? What are your thoughts?
So I went to the Boring Company and demo day
Oh yeah, fun.
last week, which was very interesting. It was really cool. They like gave a tour of their factory and talked about their mission and everything. And
Something that could bore tunnels could be very, very valuable in the case of a lot of different things like nuclear fallout, bioweapons,
yeah,
things like that. It could be very, very useful.
yeah,
And so the capacity to tunnel is kind of like the capacity to fly. You don't know how many uses there are for it until you start to use it. So good. What was the energy like? What were the people like?
it was just like hardcore engineering, which is a little intimidating for me because I'm software. I mean, I'm not even a software. I'm not a real engineer. I'm a computer scientist, right?
It's like the neuroscience. It's like the neuroscientist. There was no field of neuroscience until 2000, and then they invented it, and everybody jumped in, and now you have people who've never even opened a brain,
Right.
calling themselves neuroscientists. They've never even dealt with so those are the words, but the reality is that if you got to know fundamentals. Now, what's a software engineer going to do in the face of neural nets?
Know how to use them.
Yeah. So what does that entail? I mean, everybody, many people want people who can handle neural nets for their businesses. Yeah. For now, I don't know what's going to happen in 3 years.
Now, how it's working is that like you don't even need it. You just anyone who's reasonably good at programming can learn how to use the existing neural nets and fit them for your use case. It used to be that you have to know like how to train them yourselves, but the ones that are coming out now are so generalizable that you can just use them off the shelf.
Okay. Now what are you gonna do? Now what's a software engineer gonna do?
What's that?
Well, and now
it's just what you can do. It makes it. It's like if you're a cook, and before you had to go and you had to gather your ingredients, you had to go like kill the cow and butcher it yourself, and like prepare the meat and go collect your spices and dry them out and everything, and you had to do all that. But now that's all done for you, and you can just stay in the kitchen and cook. And so the meals you can make a lot more meals and with a lot less effort.
Well, there's the same amount of effort. There may be more efficiency, but somebody does feed the cow. Somebody does slaughter the cow. Somebody does butcher the cow. And so we have a long, complex chain. And if you disrupt it anywhere, you don't have beef, for example. Not that we need more beef, but you don't have more tomatoes.
But it's not, in this case, it's the technology that's gotten way better. So it's just more efficient. Like, say your oven, you're not making the chopping down the wood, and like you just have an oven that can use electricity or something.
Okay, and then people discover the microwave, or they discover frozen foods, and they're cheaper, faster, less energy. Less expenditure, so on and so forth. Yeah. So again, but let's circle back to what are you going to do? What is a software engineer supposed to do? What does a cook do? What does a cook do when he sees the microwave and frozen dinners, and sushi is now sold in supermarkets?
Right.
So now what does a cook do?
He stays on top of his game so he can offer a better experience for those who want it.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm thinking in terms of the metaphor, and so let's get out of the metaphor. and go back to what's a software engineer going to do?
Keep developing my skills and know how to use the latest tech in order to build things that are.
That's not going to get you a job or a place to work. I mean, 80% of the engineers were laid off, weren't they? Or going to be laid off in Silicon Valley, right? Not 80%, but you know what I'm saying. A lot. So what are they going to do now? They're going to compete with other software engineers, right? Mm-hmm. So then, now what?
There's still enough demand to meet that.
Okay, good. So for how long do you think that'll last?
I don't know. It could last for a long time still. It's hard to say.
It could, but what do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay, so then how do you know what to do next if you have no idea what's coming next, right?
Right.
So what are the things you know will still be there?
I think everyone will still want websites for their business. There's still.
Really? When was the last time you visited a website?
Like fairly regularly.
I have found no need for them or use for them particularly.
Really?
Well, what do you need them for? I mean, I have one too, by the way. Please check it out and tell me what you think I can do to make it better. Okay, but other than that, I mean, I don't know what websites. That sounds like the last century. Websites. You're on a computer, right? Mm-hmm. Most people aren't.
Right, but people still use websites on your phone. Okay.
All right. So learn to build websites. Okay, that's a possibility. You're the software engineer. Learn to build websites. I guess. I'm not quite sure I'm following how that translates into an income stream.
Well, I mean, anybody. Say you want to start a company of some sort. Give me an example of a company that you'd want to start.
A company that provides mutual support for software engineers that are out of work.
What do you mean, mutual support?
Well, they commiserate, and they talk about how things used to be.
All right, so you need a platform where people can create an account and.
Okay, so I asked the neural net to please make that for me.
So you're asking the neural like ChatGPT?
No, I'm talking 3 months from now.
Right, there's some AI assistant, and you ask it to make that for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'll still need a computer scientist and who knows how to use the neural net, because.
Well, my website is admittedly, not very sophisticated, but it serves its function. I guess I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time there, but there were no computer scientists or anything like that involved in the making of this, whatever you call it. I mean, in the old days, we'd call that just a blog. And now it's gotten so fast and easy that literally anybody can do it in a day, max.
Anybody can make a demo, a prototype, but to productionalize it, you can't.
But aren't there companies like WordPress and other companies that are corporate entities that do this for you?
Or to make a blog, yeah.
What's the difference between a website and a blog these days?
Well, a blog is just like, it's like Twitter. You can just put text there. There's no interactions available. Except for comments.
Well, aren't those the interactions that one would want for a?
Well, what if you want?
All right. Well, help me then. I have a lack of imagination. Tell me a website that needs to be built.
What's that?
I suffer from a lack of imagination, and I'm wondering because I can't think of a website that needs to be built.
Well, in this example that you gave us, say you want, okay, you have a blog, and so people can post stuff, or a forum or something.
That'd be like YouTube, right? Or Instagram, or X. No?
Sure.
What function can you get from a website that you can't get from social media now?
Any custom function.
Like what?
Like say, in this example, you want your members to be able to communicate directly with each other, and
That sounds like direct messages to me.
right. But you could have like a Facebook group for that, but
No, I'm thinking of a corporate presence on X, for example. And then you can communicate with the customers, you can communicate with your employees, you can communicate with I mean, I don't understand why X wouldn't take care of all that already, or Instagram or something like that.
because you're saying you want a platform specifically for some community.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said you want an app for software engineers to commiserate.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. That was kind of like a joke. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was a joke way back then. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So get rid of the community of commiserating software engineers, right? That didn't prepare for what's coming, right? And let's get to something constructive. That was meant to be an ironic joke.
Okay.
Okay. So WordPress, for example. Just as an example, I mean, who knows what else is out there? But I think that yeah. So yeah, I'm having difficulty finding out the rationale for a website. So you give me an example of a website that's needed.
Well, I'm having trouble thinking of one that doesn't exist because it's like
Yeah, that's the problem I was having, right?
right.
So maybe, but I'm sure there's see if you've hung out with a mullah long enough, right? You know he pops up at all kinds of different places, right? And but here, other than the nightlight story, you know, where he goes out to look for his keys, I can't find the story for because I know. Okay, so does the world need a website or do you need money?
Both.
Okay, so we've made some progress. Okay, now what if we could just figure out what website the world needs? We're golden, right? But we got to do that, right?
Yeah.
Either that or you have to have a revolution in thinking, a true
There's
revolution.
applications too. Like there's one that I wanted to build where, like, as a musician, I make music, and I want to make videos to go along to the music. And so a web app where you can upload your music and it'll generate a video that goes along with it based on your taste.
Great, fascinating, great idea, wonderful. But okay, where is that going to be? I mean, how can you do that when the whole landscape is changing so quickly? Is my point. Because I mean, if you have an AI that can generate videos, are you talking about original videos?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then that's way beyond most people's possibility of understanding how a neural net does that. And so it will become very, very popular, though. That's a great application. But why wouldn't the neural nets just take care of that? And you just say, hey, make me a video to go along with these words and this music, and make it in blue semitones with a little green, right? And an occasional burst of orange. And it goes, okay, boom, here you are.
you'll have to, because it's a question of curation as well.
Yeah, so maybe it's, yeah, who's better, the human or the AI, though? When it comes to knowing what people are going to like, I mean, the goal would be to, like, I want a video that gets me tons of reach, right? How can I do that? Who's going to be better at judging, the human or the AI?
A mix, a collaboration between the two.
What is, how does that work?
Because if the AI is doing it, if there's like a platform where the AI can generate a video for you and it thinks it can make it as viral or as good as possible, everybody has access to this.
Correct. Correct. So and they also have access to AI music.
Right, and so it quickly becomes unoriginal.
Gorgeous. It's like what's happening to art, right? I mean, you can the stench of AI, like the stench of Zen, right? Mm-hmm. So on there's Twitter, something there.
I can like detect immediately when someone just used a stock ChatGPT answer and copy pasted it.
Correct. And the same thing with the visual art, right?
Yeah, but it's not necessarily that it's AI, it's that it's the stock AI.
Correct.
It's the default AI.
Correct. It's GPT watered down 4 max. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, but GPT-5 is it already out? Is it being used by the DoD? Is that why the chaos in Washington? Is that why the world's falling apart? Because they know the days are numbered? I don't know. Do you? So, but we won't know unless we think and gather information. But okay. Have you ever heard April is the cruelest month?
Maybe, but I don't know what it means.
April is the cruelest month, breeding dead lilacs out of the cold ground, mixing memory and desire. This is T.S. Eliot. You need to know this. It's I think it's the Wasteland. Yeah, just get familiar with a little bit of Eliot. No, that's a love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Is that? Yeah, it's a love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Oh yeah, and they named their worm Prufrock, their boring worm, Prufrock. You recognize that word, Prufrock? Prufrock is the name of their machine that they dig the tunnels with.
Who?
Prufrock.
The boring company?
Yeah. Mm. So that's one reason you gotta, So, the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Can you find it real quick?
Do you want me to read it? It's pretty long.
I just read the first 6 lines. Oh, that's Let Us Go Then You and I. Yeah, like patient he thrives upon it. No, I'm sorry. Then it must be the Wasteland. Or is it? The Wasteland, Prufrock, The Hollow Men, Little Gidding. It must be the way. Okay, so read the first 6 lines of the Wasteland.
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain.
Okay, winter perfect. Yeah, so you should be familiar with Wasteland. Okay. Plus, you can mine that thing for beautiful. That's just the whole thing. I mean, the guy is kind of strange, but he could write poetry. Okay, so now, I was going to draw a contrast between April and September, because September is the glorious month, as far as I can tell. It's a new year, right? It's when things start. I mean, they could say they start, July 15th when or July whatever 1st, but in terms of the seasons and the passings of the seasons, winter's coming, I guess. And so people realize that, hey, I've got to do the work that I need to do to prepare for what's coming. And the thing is here, I think that if it's very, very difficult to contemplate your own demise, your own disintermediation.
Right.
But I think thinking men have to do that in your situation, right?
Right.
So then it comes down to, in addition to my computer science knowledge and skills, in addition, right, what's going to give me something that won't be outdated and useless in 3 years?
Mm.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So, but if it's resources, you need financial resources, then that's a different issue, sort of.
I mean, I need financial resources like to live, but I'm not in dire need of financial resources.
But you're going to be sooner or later. I mean,
yeah.
So there's a balance here, right?
Right.
Between the short term and the longer term. For the longer term, you're going to need to really sit down and contemplate, wait a minute, what's going on here? Nothing to despair about, it's just different, thank God, right?
Right.
People were going mad in their little coding cubicles, right? So this could be a huge opportunity as well. And maybe we'll get lucky and the stars will change, and instead of destruction, there's healing or rehabilitation. But I'm not seeing much of that anywhere. And so then the question is, okay, winter's coming, now what? Not just this winter, or is it even possible anymore to talk about a long-term professional trajectory, except if you go to the most basic things of all, right? And I'm trying to think what those are.
Teacher.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could teach. That'd be something good. Pardon me? That'd be
maybe. Unless you have AI teachers.
Well, but the one thing they can't teach us about is consciousness, because they can't have it. Right?
Right.
And so the whole world is going mad, running around in circles looking for a way forward or a way out, right? I'm speaking, it's not the whole world, it's the Western world, right? Mm. And so then what next? You're in your what? How old are you now?
29.
Everybody gets older every time I ask them that. They get older. So you're going to be in charge. So what are you going to run yourself and your community or your nation with? I mean, I'm speaking obviously in general terms, but this is going to require some real reflection. I'm serious. I mean, this is a big deal. This is a huge deal.